This video will show you how to complete your EDFL 106 field experiences. When you first log into Passport, your screen will look somewhat similar to this one. The first thing you need to do is go ahead and click on the Artifacts bin because that's where we input all of our original material into Passport. We are going to click on this purple tab labeled Field Experience Artifacts. And for each of the 5 field experiences that must be completed for EDFL 106, you are going to click on the Initiate New Field Experience button here. Notice for EDFL 106, you have 5 separate templates, one for each different unit that you will input your information. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy the title for EDFL 106 for the first field experience. This one is named Teacher Creates Environment Promoting High Academic Expectations and Positive Interaction. We're going to select this template and we're going to go ahead and enter that same name for this first field experience. And then click Select. You're going to go ahead and choose a date from one of your field experience sessions. You click on the calendar and choose the date where you actually visited the classrooms. Then click Select. Since this is EDFL 106, we're going to scroll down until we find our course, Introduction to Education. Click Select. All of your EDFL 106 field experiences are Level 1 Observation. Select. Here you will choose the site of the school that you visited. You have 5 separate field experience units. You will select 5 different schools. Depending on which schools you attended, or if you attended one school, you will have to input the school and demographics separately for each of the 5 field experiences. Select. Here's where you type in the contact person for your field experience. Select. Then when you get to this page, you're going to click Edit Basic Info first. And at this time, you're going to type in the number of participants you visited for one of your field experience observations. So let's say my first field experience, I had 20 students. Each of your 5 field experience units consists of 6 hours of field experiences. So it's very important that the number 6 go in this box for each of your 5 EDFL 106 field experiences. Save. This just states that once we list the number of participants and the number of hours, this must stay consistent throughout the rest of your field experience document. So here we have our basic information. If you made any errors in the first section that we just completed, you can always click here and edit that basic information. Next, we're going to go to each editing session down here, and we're going to click Edit next to Ethnicity Composition. For this section, you will give your best guess on the students that you observed. So I observed 20 students, so my numbers need to make sure they add up to 20, and right here you would just give your best guess at their ethnicity. Save. Then you're going to click Edit next to Gender Composition. Click here. And again, I had placed 20 participants, so my male and female participants must add up to 20. Save. Next, I'm going to click on Grade Levels, Edit. And here I would click off any of the grade levels that I observed in this unit. Save. Next, Subjects by Hour. Edit. It is important for each of your EDFL 106 field experience hours that you put 4 hours in Other. Then the other 2 hours for this field experience must represent the subjects that you visited. For example, I may have visited approximately an hour in language arts and an hour in math. So these hours, 4 in Other and 2 hours in the other subjects, would be listed here. If you did minutes, you can list that here. Note the total must total 6 hours. So here I have 4, 5, 6. Save. And then the last part of this section is diversity, where we would edit. If you know this information before going to a class, you can click all of these that apply. If you are in a regular education classroom, you probably are not privy to this information, so you would just leave it blank and click Save. This completes the demographics section of our first field experience. This is regarding to the students that you observed for your first field experience. We're going to go ahead and click Complete Field Experience, and the page that pops up has to do with the video that is attached with your first field experience. So your first field experience video had to do with teacher creates environment promoting high academic expectations. At this time, you would complete what was observed and not observed in your classroom in the videos that you have watched. So you would fill out this entire form, and then you would click Submit. Once you have completed and clicked Submit, you will notice that your completed field experience drops down to the bottom section of your artifacts under field experiences. So this is one of my completed field experiences. So for every field experience unit, you must click Initiate New Field Experience. We just completed number 1. Then you would go to number 2 and do the same thing. You would copy and select that template and go ahead and complete all of Unit 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once these 5 field experiences are complete in Passport in your Artifacts tab under Field Experiences, then you can go ahead and click on Folios. Under Working Portfolios to the right, we're going to click Create Folio. There is a template for our 106 folios, and we're going to go ahead and click Create from Template. There is a special template for EDFL 106 field experiences, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And you want the portfolio. We're going to click Create and Edit. Basically, we have just grabbed a binder that has three dividers, one section for your field experiences, another for the completion forms which have to do with the videos, and the third is a timesheet. As of this time, if your instructor or professor wants a timesheet in this section, you would place it in here, but at this time we're going to go ahead and delete this. And if we wanted to add it back, we would just add a tab and name it and add any tab or dividers that we wanted. Since this is a binder, it is now an empty binder with 2 tabs. We need to go ahead and add our field experiences and forms in these tabs. So first we're going to click on FEX 1 through 5. And basically it's saying there's nothing in our binder under this tab. So we're going to go ahead and make copies of the originals that we have just created. So we're going to click Add Artifact from Bin, which takes you to your Artifacts area. You're going to go to Field Experiences, and you are going to find your 5 field experience units for EDFL 106. So I'm going to pretend that these are my 5. Your latest ones drop to the bottom. So here's Teacher Creates Environment Promoting High Academic Expectations and Positive Interaction. I'm going to pretend that these are my 5 EDFL 106 units, and adding to tab basically makes a copy of the original, and it places it in my portfolio in my binder. So here we have our 5 field experiences. If I realize that something is for the wrong class, I can just delete these. This does not delete the original, just the copies that we have created. And if we need to add more of them, we would click Add Artifact from Bin and go and make more copies of whichever field experiences we have completed for this course. Next, I'm going to click on the number 2, which will take me to the second tab, which are called Completion Forms. So this first tab had the demographics for our 5 field experiences. In EDFL 106, attached to your field experiences was the information you inputted from your videos. This is placed in a separate area. It's not placed within your demographics, but it's placed as a file. So we're going to go ahead and find the copies of these by first clicking Add Artifact from Bin. It is placed in the File area. And Passport creates a folder called Evaluations. So click on the Evaluations folder. And these are the 5 candidate completion forms. Basically, this is the information you inputted um, in conjunction with your field experiences that has to do with your videos. So we're going to make a copy of these 5, add to tab, and here they are. So here's my cover of my binder. It shows me what's in there. When I click on either the number 1 or FEX 1 through 5, it shows me the 5 demographic sheets that I need for each unit, and section 2 shows me all of those completion forms. At this time, you have completed your 5 field experience units and they are currently in Passport. If your instructor or professor wants you to send your work through Passport, you would click Request Feedback. And then you would choose on your instructor or professor's name, and this will basically send a copy of your binder to your instructor or professor. Some instructors and professors prefer seeing hard copies and do not ask for this to be sent through Passport. So if they do not ask, you don't have to click anything. You have your binder set up in Passport. But if they do want it through Passport, which is similar to an email sent to them, you would click Request Feedback or Request Evaluation, whichever is preferred by your professor or instructor. If I click on Folios, I see that here's my EDFL 106 portfolio. When it says Open for Editing, it means I can still add and put things in here because I have not submitted it to a professor or instructor. If I have submitted it to a professor or instructor, it would say Review in Progress. Once your professor or instructor has reviewed your binder and sent it back to you, it will remain open for editing again. I hope this little tutorial helps you with your EDFL 106 field experiences.